Hey, it's David.
Hey, I'm Tim, and we're Worth It Fridays.
What the nani?
Welcome to episode 2 of our podcast. I know I didn't say it in episode 1, but yeah, we are Worth It Fridays, where we talk about games worth your Fridays. Our goal is to bring you, the viewer, um, more opinions on like games new or old, because games nowadays are pretty expensive, and if you're probably comparing one game over the other, right? Like I gotta choose this game over the other, so we want to bring these kind of games that are possibly worth it, and hopefully, you if you like our videos, if you like our opinions, um, like, subscribe, comment.
Yeah, so today's episode is going to be based on the Batman Arkham series. Yes, I am a
Ooh,
super fan of these games. So as you can see here, we got the Arkham Asylum as the first. We got Arkham City as the second, and we got Arkham Knight as the third one. Unless you talk about Origin, which is not from Rocksteady, but it's a decent game, but it's technically the very first of the series. Um, yeah, let's just get right to it then, shall we?
let's get right
So,
to it.
yeah, is it worth it for your Friday? For me, it's yes. Just because the storyline of this Batman games, it's very detailed. You can definitely tell like a lot of the studios of Rocksteady was definitely focusing on the development of Batman and definitely being true to the comic book fans out there. And I gotta say, the storyline is pretty intense. It's like very thorough. Each character has its own character development, and yeah, the game is pretty much being Batman. Like being detective work. There's also fighting combat, which is amazing. And in my opinion, I think it was a nice start of a new combat system. Where the game where you can just like fight like kind of like the new Spider-Man games if you haven't played yet. But it's more like punch punch, dodge at the right time, punch punch, stun, or you have all these options here that you can use and try to be like fancy. And the cool thing about the game is that it counts on your combo. So if you're all those combo high scorers type of people, type of gamers, then you definitely like this game because the whole time I play this game, I just like, yo, gotta get the high combos if I can and try to dodge everything I can. So that's what I really like about it. And as a Batman fan, definitely I felt like being Batman in this game. Definitely the name Batman itself is definitely right on the bat for you to play. No, no pun intended, but right on the point of the game where you are Batman and does stand alone that yes, this is what Batman would do and this is what Batman has. So yeah, as mentioned about the gameplay, we can go straight to the content, and the content is pretty good just because it's not those short games where you're like, oh, okay, cool, play 4 or 5 hours. Like this is a long game for sure, guarantee more than 10 hours of worth. And there's a lot of content of finding like items. If you're an item collector, you can find riddlers, trophies around the whole map of the game and try to solve the riddles. And the riddles are pretty good and they're pretty clever. So there's a lot of moments where I'm like, dang, I'm too dumb. I gotta I gotta Google this just because for the sake of it. I just want to get solved. But it's an amazing game for puzzle as well. And my favorite part of the whole series is that you get into detective mode where you kind of go for like infrared kind of scanning sensors, where like a lot of the main items that lights up as orange, and then if you see villains, it turn up red, and it kind of gives you the idea of the plan. Like, okay, there's enemies here, these objects here. How do I want to execute these to stop these villains, or do I want to just go all out and just punch everyone out? So yeah, there's definitely stealth, full combat, and I think those are pretty much the 2 points. And both gameplay styles is amazing. Um, Other than that, with DLC, there's a lot of DLC. Like looking at the game cartridges here, if you look, the Arkham Asylum has the challenge map where you get to play as Joker, and I'd say it's pretty good. It's pretty funny seeing how Joker kind of execute the enemies there in his own way. So I think they did pretty well adding challenge map. And usually for me, when I see challenge map, I'll be like, okay, it's challenge map. It's whatever. It's just for fun. Doesn't really contribute to the story. But for me, it's actually pretty fun just because I'm all about getting the combos up and try to dodge and do its challenge and stuff, such like that. So love it. And as well as Arkham City, um, you have like bonus content like Harley Quinn Revenge, Catwoman story pack, Nightwing, Robin, a whole bunch. And the great thing is, Rocksteady did very well to be loyal to their fans, saying, you know what, we'll give you the Robins, we'll give you Catwoman, we'll give you Harley Quinn, and they get it right on the bat. No pun intended again. They get the character designs right. The voice acting is great, just because I grew up with the animated series, and the voice actors are the Kevin Conroy and Mark Hamill. Um, to be honest, when I was hearing their voice in these games, I felt like it was a remake, like Final Fantasy VII to Final Fantasy VII remake. Definitely is like the anime series into 3D anime series. So you definitely will get a kick out of that. And for those who don't know Mark Hamill, he's also Luke Skywalker, I believe. Yeah.
What?
Yeah, right. And he played so many character. And as well the new Chucky movie
Oh
with the
yeah,
doll.
actually.
Yeah, he is Chucky too. So mad respect for Mark Hamill to doing those voice actors too. And as well as those two actors there, they definitely helped me develop my childhood based on these. They make the character alive, and they did the exact same thing for these games. Yeah, and if you're curious, there is a video of Mark Hamill recently on YouTube where you can literally see him play every single voice actor that he's famous for, and then he explains how he got these character alive. So I recommend it. Just search YouTube it, and then you'll see it. It's pretty entertaining to watch, so it's pretty cool. But yeah, back to the game. I'm all about the cosmetics. So these games definitely give you the skins of all different Batman comic book series. And the game developer kind of made it into close enough to similar to the comic, or they kind of modify into the Arkham series universe. So definitely worth playing. Definitely is one of the reasons for me to keep playing again. So I can play different skins. So you get to see the cool cutscene with the skin on. So definitely worth. Like I mentioned, yeah. If you're finding a game, the best way to kind of compare this game is, I think, um, Spider-Man was probably the closest one to compare the gameplay style for it. Besides swinging, you use the grapples and just swing around and then do all that stuff like Batman
And
would
you
do.
can fly, or I guess glide.
Glide, yes, yes, you can definitely glide, but it's close enough to be flying. And also, and in the series, if you talk about Arkham Knight, the Batmobile is added, so that's like a new revolutionary thing of
Mm.
the Arkham series, is that you're you're a legit Batman now because you have the Batmobile at your use and you can drive around in the city. So yeah, so overall, my experience of this game is amazing. Great story, great voice acting, great content they offer, and gameplay as well. So I say definitely worth it for all three. But if you're a super fan, you can definitely go for four. Four is pretty good, but I heard four was a little bit iffy in my opinion. But yeah,
So
these
you
three.
haven't played Origins.
So I played Origins, but but just remember, like Origin wasn't by Rocksteady. So it was a different developer, but not to throw shame or anything. But my experience was you can kind of tell the difference of the gameplay. Like, oh yeah, this isn't really like the first three Arkham series, but it's still good enough for like they got the story down pretty well, for making Batman like the younger days Batman to kind of give it its origin and just kind of start off like how did Batman meet Joker in the first place? So they did a very well job on that, but it just felt different. It was like hard to explain. It just felt different. So either way, like they have the basic foundation of the gameplay and
Yeah, sure.
and everything it is. But I know there's going to be a group of people where they're like, nah, I wouldn't count Arkham Origins as part of it, and some people are like, yeah, 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 it is part of it. It is technically it is, but
I
you
mean,
have those two group of people. So
even Rocksteady doesn't. I can't, like when um we'll talk about this more later, but Rocksteady talks about their trilogy, right? They're not even including Origins, even though there's like technically four Batman games out there. They're just like, oh yeah, this is our trilogy, Or like even when the Epic Store put it on, or Epic put it on the Epic Store for free, it was like here's the Batman trilogy, but it's like wait, there's Origin, so it is kind of like a outcasted
exactly,
thing.
yeah, it's like outcasted, but technically yes, it is in the same universe. It's just they just don't count it as quadruplegy. Is that what? Is that a
Quadruplegy.
term? Quadriplegy? But yeah, exactly. So it's up to you. You get to decide what you think it's part of it or not. So it's all up
Yeah.
to you.
Yeah. Have you guys the viewers played Origins? If not, like if yes or if not, like let us know as well. Like it's just kind of fun to see like if you enjoyed Origins or like if you include uh in the story as well, since it is a prequel in a sense.
But I'm curious what your thoughts are, Tim, on your review. Do you think it's worth it for People's Friday to play the
Hmm.
series?
Okay, so I haven't played the Arkham Knight. Well, I'm playing it right now, and I'm technically around like 4 or 5 hours in. So if you see footage of gameplay, that's essentially my around the first 4 hours of Arkham Knight. Just because right now Arkham Knight is technically the latest game that they have, and it looks the best, honestly. I think comparing, I don't know about the remaster, because I think I think out there's technically a remaster of all the games, or at least the first two, including Arkham, or with Arkham Knight included. I think, right? Correct me if I'm wrong there.
I checked Amazon. I only saw Arkham Asylum and City together as a remaster, and then Arkham Knight as
I
its own.
see. So
But
yeah, that may be the case, right? There may be like the first two, which makes sense because those are even older. What did you say that they were? What dates did they come from? Like
what
I think
dates? Like price?
like release date, release date. I think it was like
Oh, release
2009
date.
for
2009 for Arkham Asylum. Arkham City was 2011, and I think Arkham Knight was 2015.
2015. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
That's
somewhere
all
there.
I
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
So I started playing Arkham Knight. I'm enjoying it. It's actually pretty cool. Like the fact that Arkham Knight specifically, they definitely like expand upon or I guess upgrade certain features already within the game. So like I don't know if you remember exactly, but they had that fear execute essentially, where you could execute multiple guys kind of like in quick succession.
Oh yes, yes. The multi takedowns. I
Yeah, the
like
multi
that. Yes.
takedowns. So like that fear thing that they added was really cool. That was really nice. Adding the Batmobile was actually pretty cool because I, I feel like the city in Arkham Knight's definitely bigger, but I don't know if the city in the older games were smaller, or it's just easier to traverse. Supposedly that you didn't need the roads in the first place, maybe.
That's true.
But
Yeah, it might have been smaller because was it Arkham City? You can only glide around the city, right? You can
yeah,
go any
exactly. You
faster
just
than
glide
that,
around,
right?
grappled, right? But this one's like you can drive, and I think that was their preferred way of transportation, at least. I guess you could glide, but like I felt like it was maybe faster to like travel like 1,000 meters or relevant distance, and um just like yeah, just like going from like point A to point B was just faster, just to like if you're even if you're like high up, you just like dive down to the road, summon your Batmobile, and like just, like the transition into the Batmobile is pretty quick. So I thought that was really cool. Story wise, I don't remember too much of the story aside from like just the more recent memory of just like me playing Arkham Knight right now, because I'm like, dang, the first thing that happened in Arkham Knight was like you're burning up Joker. Well, I guess that's not the first thing technically, but like the fact that like that happens like almost like right away, or if not like near the beginning, it was like it's pretty crazy. And like nothing happens until you like actually like click a button. I guess like they made all buttons like activate like the flames and stuff like that. So like that was
I
like
remember just standing at the screen like, okay,
I was like, well, yeah,
hello.
well, am I supposed to do something? I was like, oh right, oh shoot. I guess
Look,
we're actually
I don't think it didn't prompt you, did you?
no,
Did it?
it didn't prompt
It
me at
didn't.
all.
It didn't prompt anything. Like like it didn't say press F to pay respect or like anything like that, right? It's like okay.
Yeah, they just yeah they just like I guess I'm pretty sure they made all the buttons like be able to turn on the flames and stuff like that. And I think they did that too later where they you're like interrogating like this one guy and like using the Batmobile, like his like head's like squished kind of like almost
Oh,
by the wheel. You're like accelerating to like make sure like he like tells you what you want. I think they prompt for that one, but like yeah, just for like the intro scene and stuff. Holy, that was like we talked about like in Spider-Man's episode. If you guys have games, either start you off like a newbie, kind of like growing up, or like you're just like straight into the action. Like Batman, Arkham Knight, at least specifically, or even in general, I think is just one of like a series or games where they just get you into the action right away. Like you're like grappling, you're swinging, lol, or
you are swinging with the grapple.
it's true. And you're yeah, grappling, swinging, fighting. just like right when you start the game. So it's pretty cool that way. I never played any DLC. Yeah, and the fact that like Mark Hamill has like voice, or even like just in general, like the fact that they brought the animated series like actors or voice actors into these games, I think definitely brings like a homage or like something, some cool like Easter egg for anyone. I guess the more hardcore Batman people, because I'm not essentially hardcore Batman. I enjoy the games. It was cool to see that like that was a like they brought like the actors like Mark Hamill and stuff. The one thing I'm kind of mixed about is like, especially since we talked about Spider-Man. I think Spider-Man, in terms of it's like traversal in a sense. I think they just make it more fluid than Batman. Batman's transitions, even from like gliding to going into your Batmobile, it's actually pretty cool. As long as you're like nearby a road or whatever, you can like it'll come from wherever. As long as you have access to the car, and then you just go into your car and you can just like become a mobile tank. But like just games, I feel like it's harder now just because like Batman is 5 years old, or at least Arkham Knight specifically is at least 5 years old. So if you're playing into the series, you're probably looking at Arkham Knight at least, if anything. Pretty old game. It still looks pretty good. I'm running, thankfully, I'm running like almost everything max, uh, highest frames I can, which I think is 90 for at least Arkham Knight. And it looks pretty good still today.
Before we get into Gotham Knight, I just want to say I forgot to mention the gadgets. Tim, I think you're a gadget guy in Spider-Man, right? You use all the gadget.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So I forgot to mention Batman has all the gadgets. So Rocksteady added all the gadgets that Batman usually use, like the grapple. And there's one mission where you can use the remote control batarang and actually play around and fly around to see where you wanted to go. Usually it's to knock out inmates or villains, or it was about a puzzle. So I thought that was they did a really well done of using batarangs and using a remote control batarangs and a lot of stuff like explosive gels and all that, like very creative things that they thought of. So yeah, but yeah, Gotham Knight. My impression of Gotham Knight was it's like, oh, it's the Arkham series characters, right? Like, oh wow, the combat's similar, the design is very similar, but to confirm, I think by Warner Brothers Montreal, they said it's not in the same universe. So I was like,
Oh,
oh, makes sense. But you can kind of see why there's one part I believe there's a reason why they can't add it together. It's because one of the characters, let's just say, she ain't walking in the Arkham series, so it doesn't make sense a continuation for her to be
spoilers. No,
there.
no,
My legs.
no.
Yeah. For those who know, it's Oracle. She's supposed to be Batgirl, so in Gotham Knights, you can play as Batgirl. So I don't know, but yeah, but definitely, Gotham Knight definitely gave me the insight of like, oh yeah, Arkham series was a thing, and it kind of reminded me like, oh yeah, that was a fun game. That was a definitely fun game to play. So they did really well.
As a games as a whole, in terms of the story, definitely worth it. Gameplay, it's still worth it. It still holds up. But if you're out there comparing games, um, like Spider-Man, if you recently picked up a PS5, congrats as well. Good luck on the Black Friday and stuff. Which I guess that would be when this video comes out.
Oh,
So, anyways, good luck to anyone who's watching and trying
yes,
to
good
get a
luck.
PS5 still. I heard news that they're still releasing more PS5 stuff.
Hopefully, yeah.
But yeah, it's just games like Ghost of Tsushima, Spider Man. That action genre is it's been so like adapted on. Like I mean, there's no game I think out there like in terms of a brawler, kind of like Spider Man or Batman. So I think they're still unique. So if you're still a fan, or if you're a fan of Batman games and you're still looking to like play these eventually, especially if you got them through the Epic Store, where while they were three and free,
Free and
then
free.
yes, it's definitely worth it. I'm enjoying my time right now with Arkham Knight. But aside from that, I think the games are how much are the games right now actually?
So Canadian. I was looking at Amazon, and I would say if you to get all three for PS4, I think they're around like 60, 65 bucks Canadian.
Right. So for
I
all of
think
them, right?
all three, yeah. I'm not too sure if it comes with all the DLC or anything because I bought the Game of the Year edition for Arkham City. So I don't know if the remaster will come all that, but I would assume it should. It should.
Uh,
So it's definitely a good, like in my opinion, if you're on a low budget and you can't afford a PS5, but you can have a PS4, then definitely it's one of those low budget games that you'll definitely enjoy
for sure.
for a while, for a long time.
Yeah, like there's tons of content. Like I thought like it's funny when I was playing Arkham Knight. I thought stories happening all in one night, so I'm like I have to be like pretty like like maybe like halfway or something. I checked projects and it's like 16%, and I was like, wait, there's more.
It's a struggle to be Batman.
Struggle to be Batman.
All in one night.
But yeah, just like seeing. I don't know. I don't know some of these characters, so like meeting like Azael, I think his name was in Arkham Knight, where he like supposedly becomes, or I don't know, maybe in the comics or something, but like seeing him as like he wants to be like the next successor of Batman. And you got like you play as him was kind of cool. Like yeah, there's moments of like where you can even play like as Black Cat. Black Cat. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Wait. No. Yeah. Okay.
No Catwoman.
Yeah.
It's Catwoman.
Dude, I've been having a huge struggle with like Black Cat, Black Widow. Like whenever I talk to like a friend about like Marvel's Avengers, which is an interesting game, I think that maybe we'll talk about in the future. So yeah, that's essentially a new way for us to try out. We're doing a new format at least. We're gonna answer the question like hopefully right away. Sorry, I forgot. That whether the game or not is still worth it, and whether or not you that's something that's all you need. Good for you, cool. But otherwise, we will say whether if a game is worth it, and then we'll try to explain further if you want to dive deeper into our video of why this game could be or could not be worth it. So we do a quick summary. David, is the trilogy, is the games as a whole worth it?
Yes, either in PS4 or PC. I don't know about Xbox, but I know for sure PS4 and PC has it.
Yeah, actually, we're not Xbox boys. Hmm.
Sorry, fans. Maybe you guys can help us convert to be Xbox guys.
For sure. uh, but yeah, for me, it's definitely it's worth it if you already have the game, and just haven't played it. Like if it's part of your backlog. I have a lot of games on my backlog, so being able to enjoy games like these, it's a lot different than what I maybe normally play. If you haven't played it yet, or you don't have it yet, and you kind of and also possibly consider playing it, I have a mixed feeling about that, just because the games, I guess the three games can still be about $60, but then or $60 Canadian. But then like you could maybe put that towards like a newer game, right? Nowadays, so it's definitely a interesting question, I think. But let us know what you guys think as well, like whether you've played it, whether you've uh, haven't played it yet, if you're planning on playing it. Let us know, because it'd be nice to talk about like what you guys think of the Batman games, and if you guys are also hyped for Gotham Knight. I think that's all we have to talk about here. Generally, me and David, we will try to bring other people, other opinions, just so because like that coincides with our goal of bringing more opinions to you guys as a viewer, because we want to make sure that like if you're looking into a game nowadays, especially even older games, right? New games, of course, but older games too. If a game is still worth it, um, it's just nice to be, I guess, given opinions or many more opinions of like whether a game is still good or not, right? So, right. So this episode is only just me and David. Hopefully, for the next episodes or so, we'll bring more people if we can, of course. Um, but yeah, I hope you guys like this episode. If you do, give us a comment. Let us know. Give us a like, a sub, right? Subscribe. Hit that notification bell. We'll end off. What are you playing right now, actually?
Me?
Yeah.
What I'm playing right now? So I got my hands on Miles Morales,
Oh yes. How is
and
that going?
yeah, I only have it in PS4 because I don't have the budget for PS5. But I have to say, even on PS4, I'm still impressed. The graphics are pretty good still, in my opinion. So far, I'm like addicted. Addicted to it. Like I can't stop thinking about playing it. They did so well. Definitely a lot of improvement from the last game, but it's like good improvement. We're like, yeah, they fixed on this and it's smoother and nicer. So they did very well in Insomniac. So good job on that. But yeah, story wise, still good. Um, I'm always like, "Ooh, what's gonna happen next? What's gonna happen next?" I can't stop thinking about it. So my opinion is it's pretty good so far.
Nice. And maybe we'll put like an update when David does finish the game because I don't have the game right now. Maybe I'll pick it up later, or maybe I'll just wait until PS5 comes out, or
Sure.
wait for the PS5. But
Yeah.
yeah, we'll give you guys an update when David's done the game. I think David wants to 100% the game.
I'll try. I have that work-life balance, but I'll tell you this, story-wise, I'm at 56% of
Yeah.
it right
So we'll
now.
post a picture,
At
and
the
then of
moment.
course, if you guys want us to go more in depth about Spider-Man, let us know as well. Let us know in the comments. We'll set up something when I think when David is done the game, and then we can bring possibly anyone else that knows or has played the game as well.
Yep.
All I've been playing is Genshin Impact because there is an event this week, and Genshin Impact is life. Like they're just like, oh yeah, there's like so much to do, and I'm just like, yeah, there's so much to do, and I'm enjoying it still, so it's great. Maybe that'll be a future game.
Oh.
Oh, nice.
Ooh.
Thank you for joining us.
Yes.
Hopefully this video isn't as long, and because we do want to, we're trying to condense our content or condense our conversation, of course, because whether or not you have time. So it's still gonna be a long video, but hopefully, if you made it this far, thank you for joining us. We really
Thank you.
appreciate it, and yeah, just see you next week, I
All right.
guess.
Till
Cause
next
yeah,
time. Take care, guys.
take
Bye.
care.